Hey, and a good evening. I'm meteorologist Chris Smith here in the Panhandle Weather Studios out in Inlet Beach. Dan Nyman over in Panama City. How we doing today?
Pretty solid day across the area. Got outside for a second. Nice and comfortable. Really wasn't all that cool. Temp still in the 60s, and to be honest, it felt perfectly fine in this polo shirt. Obviously, a little cool tomorrow morning, but I am looking forward to the weekend. It's car wash weather. That's what's coming up for us.
I'm not washing a car because I have to go on down a dirt road this weekend to go to the in-laws. So I thought about it. I was like, oh, it's perfect car washing weather. But I was like, maybe we'll wait till after we go down the dirt road.
Yeah, that's a Monday problem for you, I'd say.
Yes. Yeah, it was a very nice, as long as you were in the sun, like it was completely comfortable. If you were out of the sun with the breeze, it might have felt a touch cool, but yeah, it was a really nice Friday here across Northwest Florida.
Definitely been treated as of late. We'll see. I think Christmas is going to be maybe split in opinion a little more than I thought. The more I see us post about warm weather for Christmas, the more I see kind of two teams. A lot more people than I expected that wanted it to be cold, and obviously they're going to be disappointed.
Yeah. Well, I saw the graphic that you posted looking back at Christmas. That like it's one or the other. It's either cold or it's hot. There was like one day in like the past 10 that was like, like kind of in between, but the rest were cold or warm.
Yeah, that's the funny thing about averages, and average is kind of just the middle ground of all the extremes, and it seems like we get a lot of extremes around here. Average might not be the most useful number.
That's always like one of my like pet peeves when I was like, oh, the weather's like so extreme or whatever. I'm like, well, climate's kind of really just the average of the extremes. Like, average doesn't really exist that much.
Statistics lie all the time, but
Ex-
that's what we're here for, just to pick real numbers and forecasts.
Exactly. Let's go ahead and take a gander outside right now. It's chilly this evening. Things are actually quiet down there in Panama City at the destination Panama City, and the swing temperature down to 58 degrees, dew point of 41. Winds are out of the north. That's what you noticed today in the wake of our storm system. I say storm system last night. The front moved through last night with a couple showers and some gusty winds, but for the most part, it ended up being a dry night for most of us across our area. It's 57 in Destin. The sun has gone to bed. It was an awesome sunset, though, this evening. I hope we're able to take it in. Meanwhile, Panama City Beach, looking out at schooners there, and you definitely want to be huddled by the fire as those temperatures are dropping down to 56 degrees right now over on the east end of the beach. Meanwhile, just up the beach a little bit there, it's 56 degrees over at Pineapple Willie's. As far as Northwest Florida, live Doppler radar obviously is all quiet, but while you were sleeping, the wind with that front moved through non-thunderstorm wind gusts. There was hardly any rain at the time, but right along that front, the winds just really picked up, and I had some folks say that they were kind of awakened in the middle of the night as those winds started blowing, and then just as quickly as they popped up, they died down. But they had a 40-mile-an-hour wind gust there over in West Bay earlier this morning along the front. Look at all the quiet weather across the southeastern United States. Not a whole lot going on. All the active weather is in the corners, from wet weather in northern Maine to the lake effect snow machine now taking hold up across the Great Lakes. Meanwhile, out over into the western United States, you see a funnel of moisture continuing to stream in to the Pacific Northwest. Travel impacts obviously being impacted up into the northeastern United States or eastern United States and the northwestern United States for today. As you move into your Saturday, similar up to the Great Lakes and into the Pacific Northwest are kind of the areas that would be more likely to be impacted. Same story as we head on into Sunday and Monday, the Great Lakes and the Pacific Northwest. The common theme across the South, if you have to fly through Atlanta, that is good news because nothing going on across the Southeast. Very quiet weather pattern here as you make your way on through Christmas. Meteorologist Dan Nyman is going to have the latest here on the weather for today and how things are shaping up this evening. There you see those highs today, Dan, that we were talking about, 60s to near 70 degrees.
Yes, and that was one of the things that I was noticing. Temperatures still kind of did all right because of the extra sunshine, despite being what would be kind of considered post frontal. We made our way up into the upper 60s in most spots. If you're in Destin, Panama City, Apalachicola, some of the other coastal spots in and around the Emerald Coast and Big Bend, Forgotten Coast area, you still found your way up to around 70 degrees, and that will be a common feel across the area over the 7 to 10 days at least. That's what we're looking at right now. Temps now cooling off, of course. We're into the 50s and near 60 in Weewa at the moment, but down to 46 right now in Crestview. So the cool air kind of coming in from the northwest first, and throughout the rest of the Panhandle tonight, temperatures continuing to drop off compared to, say, this time last evening. We're already down anywhere from 7 degrees up in northeastern Gulf County to 18 degrees cooler in Bluntstown. That will be the feel pretty much all night long. Wind's not all that noticeable right now. It's just a light 5 to 7 mile per hour breeze directly out of the north-northwest, and that's going to be one thing that lightens up through the night tonight. That, with the clear sky, is going to really help us drop temperatures down. You'll notice the futurecast here. The time is ticking up towards the top of the graphic, but you're not seeing anything move on through at the moment. It is all clear for us here all the way through Saturday morning and on into the start of the weekend. Now, eventually, by Saturday afternoon, especially west towards Pensacola and Milton and Pace, and as you get towards Destin, Fort Walton Beach, and areas generally to the west of 331, you still have an increase of cloud coverage out there. That's a good depiction of just how quickly we're going to shift from this north wind behind the front back to at least a somewhat onshore wind back in the western panhandle, really bringing that onslaught of warmer temperatures as we get in towards the second half of the weekend and early next week. So your day planner for the evening hours tonight, temps cooling quickly. We're down into the 30s past midnight, not going to get down to a freeze across the area. I do think, however, there's a chance for some frost as you get north of Highway 20. That's where temperatures get anywhere from 32 to 35 degrees up across the tri-state and over towards the Funiac Springs. Coastal spots still well warm enough to not worry about that. You're back up into the lower 40s as you look into that region. So a bit of a festive feel for us here, Chris. Chris Smith's lights fitting for the forecast in the next 12 hours, but obviously will feel a whole lot less like Northern Hemisphere by the actual day next Thursday.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about flip-flops, shorts, and polos and T-shirts across our area as we head on into Christmas week. We still have some cool weather here expected this weekend, but we want to thank everyone for sending in your pictures and videos of the wonderful light displays. This is the last weekend before Christmas, so get those pictures in. It could be your house, it could be a neighbor's house, it could be a stranger's house. It doesn't matter. You can submit them on our website at panhandleweather.com. You can put them in the app as well. You can email them to me. You can post it on my Facebook page. I really don't care. It's completely fine. But you see right there on the screen, download that app and you can submit your pictures and videos there. We always appreciate it. Up in, this is Alpha, one of the light displays, and it's one of the locations that Danny Riles takes his bus of Christmas lights and festive cheer to check out that light display. Southport is one of the really cool places, including Browntown. That's actually one that you get to walk through. You don't drive through that one. You actually get to walk through and kind of take your time and see all the lights there over in Southport. And as we have Bigfoot Santa there over on James Way. Right there you go on our website, panhandleweather.com/Christmas lights. Submit your pictures and videos right there and check out the interactive Google map right there with the past 10 years of light displays. Just toggle it on and off and you see Dan made that trusty little field right there. Submit your light display and it's super handy and you can use it right there on the website. And that's all Coconut Creek Family Fun Park and Danny Riles Real Estate back with us again this year.
It's been fantastic. And yeah, that form actually just goes to the media files on the back end of the website. So I guess if you have a weather picture, you could send it there too. Although obviously the easiest place to do that's probably, you take a picture on your phone, submit it. I moved the tile up, Chris, on the weather app because it was kind of buried in with the tropics forecast, beach and boating. So now it goes channel. You've got the current conditions and forecast, and then before the radar, you get to that submit photos. So it's a little quicker and easier to find, even if you haven't opened the app in a recent period of time.
That's awesome. Very, very good. So let's see. Coming up, we're going to talk a little bit more about the weekend forecast. We got you through tonight. We'll talk more about the rest of the weekend and, of course, Christmas week. That's coming up here in, what, 2.5 minutes? What is it?
Yeah, about 90 seconds.
Oh, 90
We'll do that.
seconds. Okay. Let's get it going.
Everyone has a ritual, that small thing that keeps us focused.
A habit we never skip to clear our minds and elevate our performance.
But what do you do to keep your head in the game, to drown out that self-doubt and support your mental health? Because being your best isn't just about taking care of your body.
It's about taking care of your mind and your mental health.
Discover the resources that you need to keep your mind focused and your mental health a priority.
Your piece of land demands the very best equipment. Kubota equipment. The #1 selling compact tractor in the U.S. With professional-grade mowers, versatile sidekick utility vehicles, and compact tractors that get it done right. All backed by unmatched dealer support. Talk to your dealer today to schedule a demo.
Toyotathon is on at Panama City Toyota, where you can get 1.99% APR on a new Camry and get $500 in holiday cash. Get 3.49% APR on a new Corolla and get $500 in holiday cash. Get 1.99% on a new Tacoma, plus $1,000 in holiday cash. And 1.99% on a new Tundra, plus you'll get $1,000 in holiday cash. Shake up your holidays at Toyotathon.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. How to safely build a fire, and how to control the flames. But I can only teach wildfire prevention. Only you can prevent wildfires.
Now, from your trusted team of meteorologists at Panhandle Weather, this is your evening forecast update.
And welcome back. Meteorologist Chris Smith here as we look out over across Northwest Florida. Dan Nyman over into Panama City, and maybe he should start things off since that's the first camera that we have up here on the screen.
Yeah, over in my neck of the woods, temperatures right now cooling off pretty quickly now that we've lost the sunshine. And dew point temperatures are following in line somewhat equally as quickly at the moment. We're down to 42 degrees on the dew point scale. That measure of moisture in the atmosphere, of course, lends itself to seeing cooler temperatures tonight as that drops. You can't cool lower than the dew point as that drops off, and you got the calm winds and the clear skies. They were generally pretty ideal right now for some cool morning temperatures. Tomorrow we're talking about a frost inland, but not really getting close to a freeze unless you're in that typical low-lying area where you might briefly touch 32 degrees. Kind of a non-event for us here tonight, other than the cool feel tomorrow as you look across Destin Harbor Walk and out over the bridge there. Similar sort of feel, northwest winds about 9 miles per hour right now, so it is still a little cool wind out there. It's just not all that breezy, especially compared to at times last night or throughout the afternoon yesterday. So here's what's happening and what is a very quiet 7-day forecast for us here in the Panhandle. Cool tonight, but after that, the story transitions towards a large pressure from towards New Mexico and stretching in across parts of the southeast. Almost all of that region going to be seeing a warm Christmas week where it won't be completely dry throughout the entirety of that landmass, but even the spots that will get rainfall will not be seeing all that much. Your weekend forecast, of course, temperatures rising with plenty of sunshine, slightly cooler than Sunday, and will continue to build by a degree or two all the way through Tuesday. So you've got 68 for a high Saturday afternoon with a light east-southeasterly wind. Sunday, a little bit of a reset with the front by winds, but temperatures aren't dropping all that much, and we'll carry those upper 60s, low 70s on into next week. High temperatures since midnight. Once again, we got pretty warm this afternoon, at least briefly. Temps up into the upper 60s and lower 70s. A couple of those data icons pointing towards the current temperatures, which are still in the 50s across the area, but dropping quickly, like we talked about. Look at the 24-hour temperature change. Like we mentioned in the first half of the show, we're down anywhere from 10 to nearly 20 degrees compared to this time last evening, and that will be the case pretty much all the way through midnight tonight and just a little bit beyond. Winds pretty light, but out of the northwest, and that is tapping into a slightly cooler air mass up to our north and west, back towards Arkansas and in towards Missouri. Temperatures obviously much cooler, and we're able to advect or pull some of that cooler air down towards us this evening, even though winds obviously are significant storm. So through the 12 hours, temperatures down into the 30s across most of the area. Some of the beaches, though, still hold on to about 40 degrees, with those winds generally staying light through the overnight hours tonight. It won't be long, though, before tomorrow morning, or at least the later part of the morning hours, when you're back towards Pensacola, Fort Walton Beach, and then in towards parts of southwest Alabama. You already have that onshore wind, so it is a very, very brief cool down. By the time Saturday wraps up, either a calm wind or at least a light onshore wind for almost all of the Panhandle, and temperatures will start to reset quickly as a result. Weak little front slides through towards Sunday. It's not a very impressive one, not a rainmaker by any means either. And you see the wind's generally light and variable, but obviously a little shift there in the direction as you get through the Sunday forecast. So we'll do light and variable throughout the day for Sunday, but it's not going to be something you notice too much. We'll still watch for a frost for some parts of inland areas. You kind of call it Highway 20, obviously, to get into Liberty County. You're still a little more of an inland air mass there, too. So briefly, you could see temperatures cool enough for a frost, and up towards Crestview, that typical low spot in the northern part of the Panhandle, maybe you touch freezing, but obviously it's not going to be for long enough to cause any significant impacts. The rest of your Saturday shaping up pleasant with sunny skies filtering in for most of the area. We did talk about a couple of clouds back west, but those are just going to provide a mix of sun and clouds with highs in the upper 60s. And then Sunday, still a cool start. Maybe a light coat as you head out to church, but by the time you're out of church, you're probably going to lose all those layers and be back towards a pretty pleasant and warm feel, because once again, we're racing quickly towards the lower 70s. So it's all about the temperatures warmer than average, which once again are generally right there about the mid 60s. And over the next 7 days, Chris, I don't see a whole lot of opportunities for us to get anywhere close to that. It is, at least for most inland spots, all about the 70s. The beach is still in the 60s too. Warm weather lovers are going to find some welcome weather under the Christmas tree for this year.
Yeah, it's shaping up to be a fantastic week. If you like the warm weather, I know some of us, it might be a little on the sad side with the cold weather not around. It's not going to feel like Christmas, put it that way. Windy weather today. Our exiting storm system moving away from the United States, but that caused some travel trouble up and down the East Coast with the high winds. Meanwhile, out to the west, you see that's where the ridge of high pressure is. This is a brief little shot of cold air that we're seeing. As a matter of fact, we get through tomorrow morning, and then we're onward and upward from there. Although the interesting thing that Dan, if you looked at the low temperatures Sunday morning, it will be probably in the 50s towards Pensacola. But then as you move over towards, say, Bluntstown and Tallahassee, you'll be down into the 30s still. So we're going to see a big range in temperatures on Sunday, and that's because of the wind. So what's happening right now, big ridge of high pressure out to the west. That's going to move to the east as we move through the weekend and into next week. So this big bubble of warm air will spread in our direction for next week, and that's going to get us up into, should get us up into the 70s for most of us, 60s for the beaches. That's just because we'll see an onshore wind develop next week, and that will bring in that air mass that's over the 63-degree water temperatures. Now, here's what's going on Sunday. We'll see a brief surge of moisture. We could see a few clouds. A cold front comes in, pulls that moisture in. I don't think we'll see any rainfall in our neck of the woods, but there could be a few isolated showers that develop across Mississippi and on into Louisiana. You'll see, again, our forecast, nothing but goose eggs when it comes to the rain chances over the next 7 days. A fairly zonal weather pattern is going to develop here over the next few days. That's going to keep the cold air to the north and warmer air to the south. But as we move into next week, this all begins to buckle and we start to see a bubble of warm air across the central and southeastern United States. And this is where that warm-up's coming from. Meanwhile, a big trough develops out across the western United States. Now, eventually that will come east, but in the meantime, we're going to be staying nice and warm and dry across our neck of the woods until this trough can somehow find its way to get eastward and finally break down this ridge of high pressure. It's going to take a while for sure. High pressure's in control of our weather. There's your front to the north, and see how that moisture gets pulled out? And you see there are a few isolated showers there. This front comes through Sunday morning. It'll bring some clouds, probably not anything in the way of rainfall. It would be a sprinkle if we did. But then on the back side of that, it'll cool things down and dry things out once again as we get a little bit of a northerly wind. Then as we head into Monday, look at this. Notice the motion of the clouds, everything south to north. That's that moisture returning, and that's going to lead to the warmer weather. So over the next 7 days, who's going to see rainfall? Not us. It's going to be dry here. And even out to the west where we do see at least some rainfall, it's going to be measured in hundredths of an inch of rain. So Weewa's Christmas Parade is tomorrow. You'll see temperatures near 60 to start, cooling off into the 50s. That should be a fairly festive feel. And this weekend, we finally get past, well, I guess technically it'll be Monday. We're the longest day, or the shortest day of the year. We're going to be heading towards the longest day of the year once we get through Sunday with the winter solstice. That occurs at 9:03. So anything after 9:03, days are going to start getting longer. So that's because the Earth is tilted on its axis. And when we talk about this, we're talking about the sunrise. So the shortest day of the year is on Sunday. The sunrise is at 6:35. The sun sets at 4:47. That's going to give us 10 hours, 12 minutes, and 5 seconds of daylight. But as we move into Monday, we start adding daylight each and every day. So those of you that hate the early sunsets, we're already heading in the right direction. Let's talk about Christmas Day. Beautiful sunshine. Look at these temperatures starting in the 60s, warming into the middle 70s. Now keep in mind, the beaches will probably be about 69 degrees or so because of the fact that the water temperature will have an impact on those coastal temperatures. It's still going to be awfully nice for all of us. Moving through Christmas week, as we head from Christmas Day and on into the new year, heading towards the new year, below average precipitation, above average temperatures, nothing really changing across much of the country. And you see that with the likelihood of below average precipitation fairly high here. And then the likelihood of above average temperatures also very, very high. Here's that 7-day forecast. As we move through the next 7 days, winter begins on Sunday, and it's also going to be the shortest day of the year. But after that, on Monday, it begins to get longer. You see what happens with the temperatures? It's nice Saturday, warmer Sunday, touch cooler Monday, and we go warmer after that. Same thing for inland areas. A little bit of a drop Monday, and then look at that, mid-70s, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and Boxing Day for my Canadian and British friends there on Friday, the day after Christmas.
And Festivus as well, I think, is Tuesday. That's a good one.
We got lots of grievances.
We'll commence with the grievances after the 6 o'clock show next Tuesday.
There you go. Let's see.
And then the feats of strength will follow. So that'll be a good time. We have plenty of folks improvising here. Hannah stopped by to say hi and said the AC is going to be cranked down so the wood-burning fireplace will work on Christmas morning. I like it. I'll have the fireplace up on the TV probably.
The Yule
couldn't
log.
quite get into that. Yeah, I couldn't quite get into a house with a fireplace.
Yeah, yeah. I don't have a fireplace. My fireplace is outside actually. So
I would love to have one.
So someday, maybe someday, we'll sell a few more ads, and you'll be well on your way.
Absolutely. And a Roll Tide in the chat as well. We have college football this weekend then?
It's tonight. Alabama and Oklahoma are tonight. I was just going to double check the football schedule as to who's playing when. But I know it's Alabama tonight. That's at 7. And then tomorrow, let's see, NC State beat Memphis. And then, let's see, Saturday. Oh, no, now I'm going backwards. So that's Friday. I don't know. Yeah, we got Alabama and Oklahoma. Oh, and tomorrow's Texas A&M and Miami. That's right.
Okay. Yeah, I said that with a confused tone. I know we got Eagles Commanders for the chance to clinch the NFC East. So it'll be a little bit. We'll probably be screaming at the TV about 6 o'clock tomorrow night. That's all Philadelphia fans do. But pretty good sports weekend for football, basically tonight all the way through Sunday. So that'll be fun.
Awesome. Well, I think that's going to do it. What is it, 6:27? Here we are. We're all ready to 6:30 once again. But we appreciate you all so much for tuning in and for supporting us. And I'm just happy to say that you don't have to worry about the weather pretty much through Christmas. The other shoe will drop at some point, and we'll be here for you when it does. But in the meantime, just enjoy your time with your family.
Merry Christmas, an early Merry Christmas from us. We'll be back next week. And then, of course, the channel updates continue all weekend long.